on the last episode of Bayonetta 2, Bayonetta is crazy power, sex, demon, angel murder. She's having to fight demons now, whereas she exclusively fought angels in Bayonetta 1, so that's pretty cool. I think that's probably okay for game volume on it, though. Hey, 60 FPS. So the game was running in 60 FPS last time, but I had some kind of capture card jankiness that made it only show up as 30 to y'all on stream. Whoa. We're in hell. We're about to be in hell. One of the two. It's Wii U, yeah. Is it available on any other platforms yet? I know it was going to be on PC. Nice. I like the whole being able to put a weapon on every limb in this game. It's so crazy over the top. Oh, it's on Switch too, that's right. Forgot about that. Go. That was pretty great. Yeah, there's a button in this game that lets you lock on, isn't there? Figure it out. Wee. 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 Whoa. Well, how quickly you transition modes in this game. I understand. I'm just supposed to dodge here. Whoa! All the evil centipedes. This is like crazy set piece the game. Wow. This would be a really good test of the new stream bitrate settings. If you guys watch on Source, that should have been pretty close to lossless, other than the loss from rescaling. Normally that amount of on-screen movement, it would just be a blur. Complete artifacting mess. Go new stream CPU. Ouch. Thought I was good there. Tarantula monster. I got a lot of hit points. Hey, Umbring Climax. Okay, I thought the purple health bar was like its first health bar, but that's all its health. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Bunch of baby spiders. Not great. Nice. Fez has good bitrate tests. Really? Fez of all games? Where like every pixel on the screen is changing all the time? I guess the fact that you're like rotating the map, that definitely happens. There's platinum metal. I learned the vagina equivalent of phallic yesterday. It's yonic, which apparently comes from a Hindu word for like the vagina shape. And that is a very useful word to know when playing Bayonetta, because that is yonic as hell. Something different about this tree. Y-O-N-I-C. I was confused that I didn't recognize the etymology, but I guess it's from Improve your strength. Vagina-ish. New vocab. I know, right? Everybody knows phallic. Nobody knows yonic. Wow. That's insane, Spiky. Every tile around you changes to a random tile when you're in the game every frame. Yeah. Make your machine crap itself. We should be pretty close to lossless during movement. Like, there's still going to be some downscaling artifacting. But if you look at like the last VOD for this game, there's so much movement in it. Any sequence like this would have just been a blurry mess that you couldn't make out anything, even on source quality. Never seen a high quality video of it. Wow, yeah. So like if somebody's streaming it, it just looks like ass because there's so much changing. It's every frame, that's pretty crazy. Like even this doesn't have every pixel on screen changing every frame, right? I highly recommend. There's an awesome Tom Scott video about how video compression works. Explains why, like, if you try to do a video of confetti or snow, it tends to look really crappy. It's because so many of the pixels on the screen are changing every frame. Resentment. I do like this twist. I like the approach to the demons in this game too. They're all very colorful. They've got a lot of bright reds and blues. Neat approach and change from Bayonetta 1, right? It felt kind of obvious. I'm surprised I didn't see it coming. Nice. Focusing on demons instead of angels since you never fight demons in the first one. There's a Bayonetta 3 that's currently in the works, isn't there? Gold medal. I took a point of damage bar. Alright, we got another Ionic tree to beat up. Right, we should try doing this at least once whenever we find it. We don't have to put a ton of effort into it, but... Let's see what the challenge is, at least. Smorgasbord, general-based symbolism. Don't get hit. Alright. Well, we'll give it 1 or 2 tries.
Got you.
First try. Brills. Not for play.
Bad boy.
Hey, purple. Another piece of... I love that it's just... These guys are Zelda pieces of heart. They're just like actual hearts. Bayonetta's body is so fucked up looking. Like... She is not attractive. Look at her stance. Her poor spine. This game. I think the game still has to top. The most ridiculous thing it's done was shooting off the dick of a cherubim that was peeing gasoline. I'm excited to see how it tops that. Not enough for a kill, we're close. That's pretty fast for somebody whose name is Sloth. Oh, I thought I had him there. Bummer.
So close.
He gives you a little tell, his eyes flashes. Because in Bayonetta 1, you probably look it up. There's like a little peeing cherub statue that's peeing gasoline. I do really like that about Bayonetta, it's constantly trying to outdo itself. Really impressed the way they invoke a sense of scale in these games too all the time. I think it's mostly visual trickery. Most of this is just like a video that's playing, but it's difficult to tell what's the video and what's the level design element, you know? I don't know if Bayonetta ever got time stamped. New Bioshock game, right on. Ken Levine, I hope? Hey, what are you doing now? Oh, we are
If it
now.
ain't Bayonetta.
That's
Fancy
me.
finding a witch like you in a place like this.
Rodin, don't tell me you came here to rescue me, like some kind of knight in shining armor.
Rescue?
Try again.
Do I look like the rescuing type? If you were to kick the bucket here, I'd be all over your soul like a hungry hyena.
Whoa! I remember this cool demon boss thing. We fought it once already. Black Level, yes.
Right. I'll go easy on you guys. So let's have some fun.
Fight with Rodin for the first time. Holy shit. Alright. That's pretty cool. He's just been a shopkeeper for the whole game, so that's pretty cool. Normally I would say this game does not benefit at all from having a companion character who's as cool or cooler than Bayonetta. They've done a good job of building him up across the game so far. Summoning her hair owl makes perfect sense. Bayonetta is a pylomancer. She uses the power of hair. This guy or the Link's Awakening shopkeeper. Thank you, Rodin. These guys are annoying otherwise. You guys were a boss at anybody. I think if he touches them, they just insta-die. So you can like filter them toward him, and that's really good.
We're here. And so is my target by the looks of it.
Jean, there she is.
Hold up.
Right,
You're
we're
not
trying to get
seriously
her
thinking
soul
of
back
getting to a man
because
who's
she
next
got
big?
hit by a random hit and died.
Chill, Bayonetta. Don't go shooting up my target, you dig? I need that one intact.
He's trying to get the cool manta ray boss? Hold on. Getting all pure platinums in this game has got to be really hard.
That performance might make the back page of the classified.
Sweets. I had somebody pop in last time we were playing this. They saw it, I was like, I'm playing it on first climax. I'm out. I'm like, alright, man, bye. I really don't think that the draw of Bayonetta is its difficulty, you know? I guess the Devil May Cry games are kind of like that too, right? Like, Eventually, if you play them enough, you try to play on the hardest difficulty and get the best possible combo rating without ever getting hit on every single screen. It's like the extra value you pull out of it. She is terrifying looking. Freakish. So it becomes a style test.
I came
Devil
to
May
pick
Cry
up a
have the
friend.
dodge mechanic as well?
Almost her curfew.
Already been devoured.
Tilgav ribs Abdmach, Amd Gefa, Zax Katsp, Old Uklin. Babylon Apakna Niso, Nene Banglasti Founds Nunkf, Prinsar. Nunk Vipuran Galvan, Cures Tlasad P.
Looks like
Are you
Madame
still
Butterfly.
going to forgive me my trespasses now? What are you going to do
Her
without your precious
spirit.
palace?
Zakar Nunkf, his Umbra Coronzont. Kassam Nunkf, Baboen Eran Madama Butterfly. Nikma Pai, Las Madama Butterfly.
Not even the passing millennium have quenched my hatred for you.
Zernzava Unzan.
Good thing the three of us girls enjoy a good catfight.
Oh, this game. Whisper of Dementia.
Madama Butterfly, Ol Quasp Nunk, Quasai Oz. Nunk Ultor, Ol Baskin Kovana.
He's doing like a
I don't know what you did to piss her
Sentai
off,
Power Ranger
but
dance.
whatever it was, nice.
Like her like slow hip walk to you at the start of that battle. Pretty awesome.
Is that all you've got?
Oh, she's got little piranha plants instead of butterfly stuff. How juice she traps you in is pretty nasty. I like it's a dance battle. This game is really cool. It's so over the top. Played 2 girl power games today. I don't know if they die from if I can like actually damage them. It looks like I can. Go down pretty fast. Yeah, they're, I'd call it a spectacle brawler. That's the way I'd classify Bayonetta, Devil May Cry. It's more about the set pieces. The game's not particularly difficult. The challenge comes in being stylish. Dodging all the attacks that come down here. You get that slowed down each time every time you successfully dodge. It's pretty nice. I like how quickly it transitions to from gross. Turning into what's an Abigail? Okay, no, she's just turning into a giant. That's gross. I feel like I've seen that name in another video game with effects. Because the name for a boss, a monster in like a Final Fantasy game.
Sean!
Look at her. A woman was born when her mom was artificially inseminated with a semen of a hanged man. She had no soul or feelings.
Then it's going to be a bloody coronation. Now, release my Umbran sister.
New form's actually kind of cool looking. All the demons are really cool looking. Like their take on angels is pretty awesome, but you kind of seen everything pretty fast. A lot of gold and white. A lot of different enemy design approaches in Inferno. I hope we spend the whole game here and it's not just this part. Well, I guess I don't know what's going to happen after this, because this seemed to be like the main plot of the game, was go rescue Jean. The most gratuitous butt shot in a game. That's saying a lot. Nice stun. Nice. So there's a number of games that we're slowly playing through in Subblock. Like, Skyrim is one of them, this is one of them, and every time we play those games we have a common thread that we always bring up. So we'll go ahead and say the Bayonetta thing. The thing that's really interesting about these games is that the game is all about being gratuitous. That's basically the whole point. And I think it's really well executed in that respect. Bayonetta totally owns her sexuality. She's not incidentally sexualized for a specific audience. There's no wink and nudge saying, hey, this is meant to only be appreciated by dudes. Kind of thing that they would do in a game like Persona. Or even in a game like Metal Gear Solid. Like, I love Metal Gear Solid, but that game constantly, unnecessarily adds a lot of, I hate the phrase, but what people call fan service. Especially for characters for which it makes no sense at all. Hey. This game is not fan service. Like, Bayonetta is not an attractive being. Whatever she is, she's monstrous in her exaggerated features. Oh shit.
Damn, woman. I thought I told you to chill. You got more important shit to do than dealing with this monstrosity.
Jean.
She's all eaten. Nothing left. It's over. GG.
Jean, get up. You're going to be late. Jean, it's time. Get up.
Even if she is
Please,
sexy,
Jean!
like,
Wake up.
it is core to her character that she dresses and behaves that way, right? It's not something that's basically
Jean.
goes unacknowledged in the story and is just there for a predominantly male audience.
What do you need? A wake-up kiss or something? You never were much of a morning person, were you?
This is...
Hell.
Cereza. You came here to rescue me?
Yeah, we're like best buds.
Are you insane?
I got nothing better to do.
You
I
took the
literally
words
don't know
right
what
out
else
of my
Bayonetta
mouth.
would do with her time.
Let's go.
She kind of needs a challenge.
What's happening?
You need to get back to your body and get some rest too.
Be careful, Cereza. Something big is going to happen to our world.
I know. Just go home. And no stopping or turning around along the way.
Hey, we did the impossible.
Thought I'd fucked up my business. Gotta hand it to you. This is quality. The perfect palette for an artiste. Now, time to do my dirty.
That's a really good question. Ghostbusters in her? Orpheus do that. You know it,
So that's how
Variel.
that works. Well, not very romantic.
Got a nice glow about it, don't you think? As for its power, well, you don't need me to explain the finer points of fucking shit up, do you?
We haven't seen that annoying Loki kid in a long time. Hamster kid. He's the one that's using this time hub. Oh, there he is.
Little one!
Got them all lined up waiting to be
This
saved
fucking
up.
game!
Don't forget about
It's like OBT dubs the game. It's all built out. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna snap my fingers and summon hellish Slipnir. It's a normal thing here. That's what we all do here in Hell.
Like my new
Oh
haircut.
wow, that's a first. Oh man, you think her spine, like the size of her legs? Like her legs alone are taller than I am. I don't know. My wife is 6'1" and I'm 5'9", so we kind of got a Luigi Mario thing going on, but I don't know about Bayonetta. She is a monster. You mean Bayonetta 3? Or is there a 4 already being worked on as well? Look at the way her back curves. God. I'm sure someone has made a Bayonetta skeleton.
Hurry!
Whoa! Climax horse. Okay. Use Diomedes. And the name of the horse isn't Climax horse. Veda, speed up, slow down, blade slash, shoot. Jump. Okay. This is pretty awesome. These games are so fucking crazy. Pretty cool giant monster there. Nice. Should not have blown my Umbran climax there, but that's okay. Maybe it lasts a certain number of... No, okay. It's number of attacks or... Oh, that sucks. At least it's setting me back. Must need to turn earlier, maybe? Whoa! Nothing to show up in a Monster Hunter game. That'd be rad. Two hits to kill these guys, right? Woo. I was hoping it's like, why didn't you just summon this right when we got into hell? Whatever. One of those, you can only summon one of these things after you beat up a Mandrake lady, obviously. The way this plays kind of reminds me of, was it Road Rash? Is that the one where you have to attack other people on bikes? Too stylistic for Monster Hunter. That's something I'd like to see an indie dev try to make. Monster Hunter. Seen the Mario 64 attempt today. Mario 64/Spyro. This jerk, he's totally not an older version of Loki. It's currently my guess. There's not a reason at all. This game's Bible is the rule of cool. Would it be cool? Overrides everything else. This game called Dauntless is basically that? Is it already out? But no one's made like the Stardew Valley treatment for Monster Hunter yet, it sounds like. Horse booty. Oh, interesting.
Must you keep interfering?
Turns into a Matarasu Shiranui wolf. Did it change the formula much?
Your impudence will cost you your life, witch.
So you're saying diplomacy has failed, then?
Oh shit, it was David
Surrender,
Bowie.
or it will be more than your mask that you lose.
Umbro witch. Or
He looks
shall
like
I
David.
call Bayonetta?
David Bowie died in the first
That
game.
seems to be what people call me these days.
Very well then, Bayonetta. You shall be the first Umbro witch to die at my hand.
He looks too young to be David Bowie though, so we know he's not. Was it Boulder in the first game?
I swear it on my honor as a Lumen sage.
Sounds kind of like Cam Clark. I don't think that's him though.
Is that all?
Farewell.
He looks way younger than the bad guy from the first game, who I thought was also Baldur. He's kind of Bayonetta's dad.
So close.
Literally young David Bowie. Nope, David Bowie, if anyone would like time travel and be a voice actor in a Japanese video game about vaginas, like David Bowie's the one person in history. I think he is going to be from the past. Like all those little sequences keep showing a clock turning. There's going to be some kind of time travel thing. Could someone look up what the name of the final boss was in Bayonetta 1? It's been long enough now, I don't actually remember if it was Baldur or not. Not that this is the kind of series where you really need to pay attention to the lore. It's true. Maybe me. It was Baldur? Okay, so this is young Baldur. I like his peacock wings. It's kind of a cool way to do that. That was a really smooth transition to zoom out during the battle. It was really cool. Glad there's a lot of floating platforms in this universe. It really lends itself to neat battles like this one. Deep Sea's fight's interesting too, so they're not just HP sponges, although they are that too. I'm really glad they added the Uncle Climax. It's mostly for boss fights. Magic doesn't do you a lot of good through most of the boss's health bar. It's something to use your magic on before your torture attack thing pops up. Climax move. That's a cool attack. Dodged for a long time, unfortunately.
So close.
Keep him out of the air. Nice. Doing a pretty good job of making the enemies' tells stand out in all of the bullshit that's happening in Bayonetta. Sometimes there can be so much on-screen clutter, especially in the first game, that it's hard to tell what you're supposed to pay attention to when aiming. I feel like the enemy design is getting better from fight to fight.
Not be forgiven. He will never be forgiven. My soul is illumined. He will draw his last breath before me. This is impossible!
Impossible?
Little one? Where am I? Bayonetta! Get away from me!
Oh, Baldur. Got a beauty. Not in this setting, but...
Like
Hey.
my new haircut.
City of Deja Vu. I don't know if we ever went to Vigrid in the previous games. Remember? Pretty sure that's Loki that's flipping the cards there in the opening scene. World map scene. Yes, I'm playing on the easiest difficulty right now. Rage bursts.
I know where
We'll have to do a
this is.
Yu-Gi-Oh game at some point.
I know where
I have been
this
not
is.
exposed to it at all. Main sanctuary. Oh, Andrea sent me pictures of canes. I'm so jealous. I might try to make it at home. We have the official recipe for the sauce, and it's exactly the same, but making the chicken fingers is really tricky. Got some more halos, sonic rings. She posted in Discord too. Oh, I'm so jealous. I want it so bad. Maybe I can talk Kat into trying to make it this weekend. I can make the sauce, but it has to sit for 24 hours in the fridge. Broken witch heart. Ooh.
So close.
Raising Cane's is a restaurant in the Midwest and the South. Some parts of, like, I guess it's in, there's some in Denver, you said, Chaos? The only thing they have on their menu is chicken fingers, fries, and toast, and that's it. And they're really, really good. Really, everything that's on their menu is just really a vessel for their sauce, which is a combination of mayonnaise, ketchup, Worcestershire sauce, however you say that, black pepper, and garlic powder. But it is really, really good. I climb the walls here. They open in college towns. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyone wants to make $1 million, billion, come move to Los Alamos, where we're darkly starving for restaurants of any kind. Open a Cane's. We'll be so rich and I'll be so happy. Worcester? I used to not be a sauce person. I got everything plain. We can make the sauce. The official recipe is spot on. The challenging thing is getting the chicken right. And it doesn't keep very long when it's not refrigerated because it starts to disincorporate. Like the ketchup and the Worcester sauce separates. It sits too long. I had to come around to sauce. Pretty funny. What's your deal? I don't get to see very many Umbra witches in their
We will be
prime.
overrun soon. Gather at the clock tower. We must defend it with all our strength.
Future Bayonetta, past Bayonetta. She's got the butterfly glasses.
You?
Hey, if you're new to the stream, I'm Marstead. I'm trying to beat every awesome game ever made. Wait, there's so many awesome games out there, it's impossible for any one person to play all of them and beat them. It's job security for me. I'd like to see a list of all the games we've played so far. There's YouTube playlists for all of it at games.marstead.com. And if you'd like to see how you can vote for the next awesome game, go to vote.marstead.com. Just hang out and lurking, that's totally cool. This is a zero obligation channel. In any case, welcome. Okay. Steal her guns. I like her guns too. Baby heads. Kind of refreshing to fight angels again. I hope we do get more demons though. This is a cool part of the game. Some of those torture attack animations are so cool. We got about 15 more minutes of Bayonetta 2. Clock shows 5 hours when we wrap it. depends on how much prep work I'm able to catch up on tonight, but there's a really good chance we're going to be doing Dungeons and Dragons tomorrow. I'm just going to, like, basically reintroduce the setting and everything, since the last one, I was tempted to not even stream it, since it was a mechanical tutorial from the players, from Lisa, Matt, and Darcy. It's going to be all story stuff. Traditional Dungeons and Dragons exploration kind of thing. I think it's going to start at 2 Pacific tomorrow afternoon. We'll go for about 4 hours, depending on what time we have. We'll update in Discord tomorrow morning for sure. I'd like to have you there if you're available on the most of that got wasted, it's too bad. Well, that's, I didn't realize I just picked up a flail. I thought I had one of those stripper pole spears. Worries. Be on YouTube as well. Benefit from some help in getting quality options. Probably increase the SP reward for that. Nice damage. Big spiky. Rather enjoyable. A lot of people who are like very tabletop savvy have gotten really opposed to mechanics heavy settings and systems. One of those, like, the audience that's likely to tune in for D&D is going to be disappointed with the system that I have put together. And the people who might like it don't know that they might like D&D. Some sort of ability to respond to a witch's power. Okay. Historically, we've needed to have witch time with that, but... Hey, more witches. Glad we only got to see 2 witches in the first game. I think we were here in the first game. This looks familiar. This bridge where we fought the multi-headed dragon boss. Oh, this must be like near the Umbra Witch Fortress or something. Wow, I can't believe I recovered from that. Yeah, Lidifex, that's exactly what I'm trying to develop, is that like there's a lot you can do with, let's see how to phrase it. An issue that virtually anyone who does tabletop role-playing runs into is that there's a lot of cool rules out there that only really make sense assuming that there's a perfect computer that's able to adjudicate them. Like, you can read a rulebook and get, oh man, look, there's all these cool little conditional effects. But in practice, when you go to play the game, nobody remembers any of their buffs, nobody remembers any of their mechanics. Because humans aren't computers, and we struggle to keep track of that sort of shit. So, like, there aren't really any rule systems right now, at least to my knowledge, that assume and require that you use a digital tabletop and that you automate as much of your mechanics as possible. Even though I think that there's a huge market niche for people that want a somewhat automated tabletop role-playing experience. And the draw of tabletop is player freedom. players say they want to do it, that the DM should be able to improv and make it happen. Which is kind of hard to do with preparation and programming, but it's definitely still doable. Let me get these things to attack us, right? So we can witch time through. Okay. I didn't mean to do that. Yay! Right, the DM fudge, which is what you need to be able to do. So what I've done with my setting is I've manually automated almost everything. Like, I've got macros, automatically tells you whether the attacks hit or miss. Most buffs are applied automatically, but it's required like significant manual effort, like tens and sometimes hundreds of hours to prepare, which isn't really viable for the majority of DMs. So the dream would be to have a rules developer that provides the automation natively on a platform like Roll20 to any DM and makes it really easy for someone that's not like code savvy to be able to customize on their own. Yep, Jackbox would be a good solution. Like, I've personally been doing it remotely with people, but if I were ever to do a D&D session with friends in person, I would try to do, I would use Roll20 for it. We'd all just be sitting at the same table and have everyone have a device. Actually, the whole reason I'm streaming was because I did this heavily video gamey cutscenes and lots of preparation adventure for Hapax, Ganymede Native, and Deidrearch. Just the three of them. And Hapax was like, dude, it is like criminal that you're putting all this work into this adventure and like 3 people are seeing it. It's not getting recorded, it's not getting shared with anybody. You should consider being a Twitch streamer. And I ended up not focusing on D&D. Like, that was my original plan, was let me try to get a basic audience from streaming video game playthroughs, and then eventually I'll change my stream focus to being more about tabletop RPGs. But just the volume of prep versus the number of hours that I'm able to stream is really not viable. Is what I'm looking for. I think it's more fun to try to beat all these awesome games than do D&D occasionally. Now you get 15 people to see it. Marginally better, and at least it's safe forever, you know? And the recording part is a bit important. Jahan would often lament, like, why aren't you doing more D&D streams? And I was kind of waiting to have a large volume of people, but I don't know if the right volume's ever going to make it. Okay, so we can just drop down here. I thought we were supposed to jump over that place. The place reminds me of Dark Souls 1. Lost easily. Oh, shit. Hard to not get hit here. Oh, no, for sure loot effects, but when it comes to, like, if I spend 100 hours prepping an adventure, and I want to, like, air it multiple times and rerun and talk about it live with people, at some point it's like, is this worth the time investment for it's 100 hours of prep for 4 hours of content, is that a good calculation, is that worth it? Maybe if you're Matt Mercer and you've got Critical Role and, like, 10,000 people tune in every week. But it's really hard to get to that point. Go up the tree up. Yeah. I'm hopeful that the Dark Souls remaster for the Switch is gonna redo that whole area. That would be great. Keep the game almost exactly the same. Maybe patch some of the OP shit, like, what am I supposed to do here? Oh, just to climb up his body? That's cool. That's awesome. Too bad I didn't realize what they wanted me to do the first time. You don't think it will? Sure. It doesn't need major improvements. When does that come out? Is it May? Do we have the release date? It's the exact same game. That's fine too. It's got good multiplayer servers. And it's just Dark Souls 1 for now, right? I feel like they're just adding it so they can justify putting Solera in Smash. I tried to get that Solera amiibo, but it was already, like, after stream was over, all the pre-orders were gone. Not that they need to justify shit after Cloud was in Smash. Oh, thanks, sir. Good looking out. Hot tips. Shit. So Tabletop Simulator lets you use existing tabletop rule sets and card games and board games and that sort of thing. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't give you the tools to automate your own, like, RPG like Dungeons and Dragons. It doesn't support rule sets and mechanics that depend upon and assume automation, right? D&D definitely does not assume automation. It does not assume a digital platform. It assumes that you're in person with physical dice. A lot of its rules and decisions are based on, is this, like, viable for a human being to do with dice? This part's really tricky to tell where I can go and can't go. Shut up for a second and try to figure it out. Yeah, I'm still struggling here. I guess I could maybe float over to one of these locations. Dark Souls 2 is totally worth playing. Excellent game. It's not Miyazaki, so it's different. But it's not, like, so different that it's not worth playing at all. It's still an outstanding game. It's definitely the longest game if you play all the DLCs. If you play mine. Pro tips falling dead names. I'm so sorry. I was trying, it's hard. This game's usually really good about telling you where it wants you to go and what buttons it wants you to press. Roll 20 is all you really need. If you just want to play Dungeons and Dragons and you don't want to use anything other than the digital dice rolling capability, like, you don't need to do any prep in there. What build was that, Spiky? Souls 2 has the highest variety of potential builds, doesn't it? Oh, you struggle with Roll 20. Interesting. What would you like that's not in Roll 20 right now? Totally is like future or past me here. She has Madame Butterfly as well. That's cool. Giant Dark Sword and Dark Orbs. Dark Magic is the one that requires you put points both into intelligence and faith, right? This staggers a decent amount. Oh, I was really worried about the game being too loud. Sorry about that. Appreciate the heads up. People were complaining about the audio being too quiet from the game earlier, so I thought maybe my OBS audio meter was janking up today after I made some changes. Thanks for the heads up. Turn it down a little bit more. This game's usually frustratingly quiet. That'll be about time. I'm guessing we're gonna get a save point after this boss here. That's awesome. So sexy. Hair monster that grew off her back. Perfect timing, wow. We lucked out again. I think last time we also wrapped at just the right time. Sword itself needs a pile of stats and fighting a New Game Plus boss early. I really like that whole system of being able to fight the New Game Plus bosses by using the bonfire aesthetics. Systems like that, it had a lot of cool ideas that then unfortunately got tossed afterward. Alright, that's it for today, everybody. Thanks, as always, for hanging out. Give you guys an update on what's coming up next week. We'll hope to see you tomorrow for the D&D stream.